We can start the recording. Hello, hello. All right, quick attendance roll call. Let's see, April Adams is here, Felipe is here. Juan is not, Gretchen is away for work, she's excused. Dejan's here. Chris is here, Ted is here. Rhea, I forgot if Rita's coming today, you remember?
I didn't see it in the background, that's fine.
Marita is not here. And Jordan is here. Okay, so we have full quorum. Anyone, I'm gonna motion to call the meeting to order.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. Hopefully everyone saw the agenda up front. April sent it out.
Move to
Okay.
accept the agenda, Ted.
Thank you, Ted.
Seconded.
Seconded by Jordan. Thank you. Any objections?
Can I make a request? Can we do presentations before record since we have?
Yes, yes.
Great.
So we will,
Second one?
yeah, I know Kevin has, hello, Ms. Dunn.
Hi.
I know Kevin has to go, so we'll go Kevin, Jen, and then MTA is here. Yes, I see Alberto. I see Jamie. Okay, so we'll go that way. All right, okay, can I get where, oh no, he didn't print the minutes out yet. Did everyone get the minutes he sent out?
Yeah.
Okay, could I get a
Yes.
motion to adopt the minutes from March 5th?
Motion to adopt the minutes. from March 5th.
Seconded.
Okay,
Second, Ted.
thank you. All right, we will get started. Kevin?
And before Kevin, you start, just to remind everyone who's presenting tonight that we do have a lot of presentations, and a lot of business to get through, so please keep your presentations to about 5 minutes. So we have room for discussion, okay? Thank you. Do you have it on the screen?
Will put it up, hold on, just a little second, sorry.
How long
My
ago now?
machine-
Yeah, I can introduce.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Lachera. I don't live up here. I live in Greenpoint. But I am a volunteer with Families for Safe Streets, which is an organization citywide that represents and advocates for folks that have either been victims themselves or lost a family member due to car crash, traffic violence, they died road in some capacity. So I've been volunteering with them over the course of the last year regarding an initiative called Sammy's Law, which is some of you may be familiar with it, but in 2024 there was a statewide law that was passed, which allows New York City to lower its speed limits from 25 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour. It's kind of a little bit nuts the way that they do it, which is that New York City is not allowed to do this without passing a state law. We don't have permission to, establish local power in that regard. So advocates fought for about 10 years. It's named after a young boy who was hit and killed around Prospect Park. I can jump into some of the slides as you bring them up here, but basically last year, in 2025, there was 206 people citywide killed in traffic crashes. That's one person every 42 hours. Of those 206 deaths, 112 were pedestrians, 73 were motorists, and 21 were cyclists. What that looks like in Manhattan CB9 is 840 crashes over the course of the year, 435 injuries. So nearly as many injuries as there are days of the year. And 2 deaths, a pedestrian and a motorist. The pedestrian was Richard Wigfall, and the motorist's name is not known. The awful part about this is that these crashes are preventable, right? What we know citywide, statistics show, is that there's 2 primary contributors to traffic crashes. That is speed and that's visibility. So visibility at corners, you might see a van or a truck parked on the left into the crosswalk, right? And speed, right? The faster you are traveling, the faster you're traveling, the longer the stopping distance is. It's basic physics, momentum, and these types of crashes are occurring primarily at intersections. I can bring up a map in a moment that shows what that looks like here in Manhattan CB9. But basically what I can tell you is something you probably already know, which is that there is not one block or corner that is exempt from the crisis. It is every street, it is every block. You got it, great.
I think it's,
It's like nine.
I think it's 5. It's 5, it looks like.
yeah, for some reason,
It's frozen on here for some reason.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I can keep going. I've done this before. I have been speaking to community boards about this for, I started in my own community board, which is Brooklyn CB1. And then over the course of this year, there are 9 other full community boards that have asked for implementation of Sammy's Law, asked to basically say, we want to lower our speed limits. I'll get into what that law looks like in a moment. But I think it's a really critical way. I think so often for community boards, including my own, we are dealing with a lot of these things either after there's been a crisis, after there's been a death or an injury, or folks are coming to boards and saying, hey, my street is dangerous, my corner is dangerous, I want to see something done, and we all deal with the same problem, which is the Department of Transportation not always responding as quickly as we'd like to these types of problems. Whether that is installing stoplights or stop signs, this is something that's within the power of the city to do. It's something that Advocate Squad part of. What that looks like, let's skip ahead a couple of slides. The next, and yeah, that's just that's what I just went over. Oh, if you can go back one, this is just what I was talking about. Again, it's virtual. You would expect, okay, maybe there'd be more along the West Side Highway. It is everywhere. It is every block and every corner. The orange circles, the larger the circle is, the more injuries there have been. The orange circles are injuries, the yellow circles are crashes, and the red circles, which you can see, it kind of fades into the orange a little bit.
Yeah,
But there's 2 deaths last year. We can go ahead one if we will. Thank you. These are just the statistics, the way that it works. If you are hit by a car, God forbid, going at 30 miles an hour, you are 20% likely to die in that crash. If you are hit by a car going at 20 miles an hour, you are 8%. The likelihood is that you die in that crash. So it drops pretty precipitously from the speed that a lot of cars may go as we go down to 20 miles an hour. Again, that's field of vision, that's stopping distance, that's all the physics that we learned back for me, a while ago back in school. But if we can keep going to the next one, this just shows that on a chart. I can send this along, but as we see, it drops with precipitously. So as I had mentioned, 10 years of advocacy fought for local control, for communities to be able to give the feedback, what they want to see. As it turns out for streets in our own communities. We can go ahead one. What this has looked like in implementation. So 10 years of pushing to pass a law. The law was passed. It was kicked to the city to implement, and the city was unfortunately quite slow in implementing it. Right now, less than 2% of all streets have that 20-mile-per-hour speed limits that advocates fought for and communities fought for 10 years. Mayor Eric Adams implemented it in a number of slow zones. The largest one being here in Manhattan, but down basically from Canal to the Battery, as well as 4 other regional slow zones, area-wide slow zones, which was Broad Channel, Dumbo, St. George, and
So yeah,
thank you very much. Again, very welcome in those communities, but a pretty small amount all told. It was also implemented on 100 individual streets in front of schools. So since that time, and kind of in disappointment because of that lack of implementation, community boards have been leading the way. The first was Brooklyn Community Board 1. Since then, this year, Queens CB1 and 2, Manhattan's CB2, 3, 4, and 5, and Brooklyn CB6 and 7 have passed it in full. Those votes have been almost completely unanimous, with 1 or 2 abstentions across all those boards. Queen CB6 has also moved into the Transportation Committee. Mayor Mamdani has expressed support, and they took a step just this year, which y'all might have heard about maybe a couple weeks ago, with where they're implementing Sammy's Law in front of 800 schools. But again, the ask is ought to be broader, because children don't just live on the block where their school is, and communities need that safety across them. So the ask would be for Manhattan CB9 to join these other boards. It's about 6 or 7 other boards that currently have it under discussion in passing a resolution asking for full implementation of a district-wide slow zone. What that would look like here, if we could skip ahead one. Oh, this is, we'll go back. It basically applies on all streets, except for the West Side Highway. If you could skip ahead one. And this is just what it would look like. These are all the streets. The only street that is above that 25 miles an hour in all of Manhattan 9 is just the West Side Highway. The rest are all 25 miles an hour. That doesn't mean that folks follow that speed limit, but that is what the speed limit is. Go ahead. And that's basically it. I'm happy to forward a longer, but this is just the basics. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has, and I really appreciate you all having me here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ted, wishing to speak.
Sure, you're acknowledged, Ted, go ahead.
Thank you. I support what you are doing. However, it is totally useless if there is no enforcement.
Yes.
And so until we can get enforcement, it is ridiculous to try to deal with this. And let me give you a little bit of background. I've been involved in this business for quite a period of time, and there was a question about areas set aside for making turns around Grant's Tomb. And we were told that the traffic was going too fast for that to happen. So what happened? The roads were designed for going faster, even than at that time, the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. So if we lose 10 miles an hour, it's not going to do a damn bit of difference unless we have some cops told to go and ticket.
So Ted, one of the resolutions we passed a few months ago, the open plans resolution, was specifically designed to create structural incentives for people to go slower by narrowing streets, by creating daylight lighting. That's what the DOT study on Convent Avenue is. I completely agree with you. I know the studies as well as you do that speed limit signs matter a whole lot less than road design, than enforcement. But if we can get the speed limit down to 20, that is a really good first step, because then we can say, hey, this street needs to be redesigned because people are speeding. This is a good enforcement zone to put a camera in because people are speeding. If we don't lower the speed limit first, we can't do all of those other wonderful things you are suggesting.
Well, I will tell you that redesigning the streets is not the way to go. The way to go is to give tickets out. And, we need to raise money. So giving tickets out is a wonderful way to do two things. One, bring the matter home, and two, to help with the deficit.
Okay, thank you, Ted.
If I can, yeah, Ted, I'm happy to, I totally agree with you that enforcement is absolutely needed. And there's a number of boards that have discussed this, right? The fear or the issue to say, hey, we're putting this forward, but what follows, right? Community boards make an ask, and sometimes you see you make the ask and DOT doesn't implement it the way you want to or whatever it is. And so I would encourage you to pass a resolution in support of this, but two, I would encourage you to include in that language, an ask around enforcement or ask around ticketing cameras or whatever it may be, right? I think that right now, I'm sure you all have some traffic cameras in the district. Right now, and this is one of the issues with those traffic cameras, is they don't ticket unless someone is traveling more than 10 miles over the speed limit. So right now, you can be traveling 36 miles an hour around Grant's Tomb or whatever it may be. You will not get a ticket unless you're traveling 36 miles an hour. This would mean it was closer to 31 miles an hour. And the reality of it is, and I understand, obviously, you see the implementation of this type of stuff, you can be skeptical, but the reality is on the ground is that the force of a vehicle hitting someone at 36 miles an hour is drastically different than the force of someone someone being hit by a vehicle going 31 miles an hour or 25 miles an hour, right? As you are lowering that, every mile an hour that you're lowering it, you are increasing the likelihood that someone is going to survive that crash or not be grievously injured, right? This is a board. I talk to a lot of boards. 2 deaths is too many, but
Yeah.
comparatively to a lot of boards, it's far fewer. Plenty of injuries, and those injuries can be life-changing for a child, for an elderly person, for anyone crossing the street. And I think that this is not meant to be. There's no such thing. I say this to you as members of a transportation committee. You know that there's no such thing as a silver bullet in this work. There's no such thing, right? But it is harm reduction and harm mitigation, and saying, where can we tackle the problem as best as we're able, right? Even as you redesign streets, or even as you ask the NYPD to step in particular areas, to particular pain points, right? That's not going to necessarily solve the problem in its entirety, right? So let this be, and I would implore you to say would be, let this be one arrow in your quiver. And one thing that the community boards can do, that's something that the mayor has the power to do. If Mayor Mondani went to sleep tonight and woke up tomorrow morning and said, I want Manhattan CB9 to have a 20-mile-per-hour speed limit, he has the power to do that at the stroke of a pen. That would make a difference on the ground here. Where speed limits have been lowered with cameras and without, it has made a difference.
I'm sorry, I'm
Oh,
gonna
please, yeah.
keep moving on for
Could you send us where it has been more does make a difference, could you send us examples just in a follow-up email?
Sure.
Great, that would be good to include in our
And
resolution.
I know we have a lot to go over tonight. What I would propose is, or I'm gonna motion that we do come up with a resolution, put in some language with regards to enforcement, harm reduction, mitigation. Maybe look at the other resolution from
Yeah.
other CVs and then discuss next month.
Yeah.
Felipe, you wanna work with me on that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I motion that.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Seconded.
second that motion.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there weren't any more questions, right? No more questions for Kevin?
Just a quick point of clarification, we're talking about a speed reduction from 25 to 20.
Correct. It's except for the West Side Highway, which would remain as is. Every other street in Manhattan 9 is a 25-mile-per-hour.
Awesome,
Thank you, Ted, for your question.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Do we have Jen next or MTA?
Um,
We were gonna start with presentation too.
oh, yeah, I mean, I guess we can go to DOT and BDC next,
Oh, okay.
fine.
Oh, I forgot, yes, they're not on here, right?
No, DOT's here, oh, they're not,
No, they weren't on the agenda, right?
oh, correct, yeah.
Sorry, Jen, we gotta get DOT in first. Okay, DOT. Lyle, is Lyle on?
Yeah.
Lyle? Who's doing the presentation?
On the BX6 bus priority project.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, have a good
Thank
night.
you. Any questions, please let me know.
Lyle?
I'm here. Evening, everyone. Well, back
Hi.
from DOT. How are you, April?
Good, how are y'all?
Pretty good, pretty good. Are we doing the DDC presentation just now? Is that just to verify? Okay. I'm joined by my colleagues at the MCA and DDC on regards to capital project we have for the BX6. It runs through the South Bronx, and in Manhattan it goes across 155th Street. So I'll pass it along. I'm not sure using the presentation tonight, but I'll pass along to my colleagues. We just wanted to have a presentation given to you and some other affected community boards in regards to the upcoming work that's about to take place. So without further ado, I'll hand it off to the presenters.
Thank you.
Hi, is someone from DDC have something to
Yeah,
present? I can make you a presenter.
yes, it's Tara Figueroa.
Okay, Tara, just give me a second.
Mhm.
Oh, I think you gotta do
Oh.
it from there.
Okay, now we're there.
Okay, Tara, you should be good now
To share.
to share.
Are you guys able to see?
Yes.
come up on your
See
end?
it? Yep,
Yep.
yeah, we see, it's, looks like a PowerPoint.
Okay, perfect. So first I would just like to, bear with me. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see me? I just want to introduce myself so you can see my face. Hi, I'm Tara Figueroa. I'll be
hello.
the liaison for this project. And I'm just gonna widen this a little bit. I will try to be as quick as possible. I know that we are limited on time. So this is the HWX 100 SBC project, or known as South Bronx East West Crosstown SBS Bronx and Manhattan. For today's agenda, I'm just gonna briefly go over the project overview, limits, goals, as well as the proposed storage area, typical maintenance and protection of traffic, community impacts and mitigation, community outreach, and project schedule, and then end it with any Q&A. For this slide, we just have the Manhattan Transit operations and pedestrian safety improvements located in CB9, 10, and 12. This is just to give you an idea of the work that's going to kind of take place. As you can see there in CB9, it's minimal work for you guys. And then it kind of carries over into CB12, and then there's that small portion right there on CB10. This just kind of gives you a more specific overview of the work that falls within CB9 itself. So on Broadway between West 153rd Street and West 155th Street, we have some expansion of sidewalks, traffic signal relocations, as well as streetlight relocations. On Amsterdam Avenue, there's some expansion of sidewalk as well as bus bulb installations, which is just essentially the expansion of the sidewalk, but specific to the bus stops. On Nicholas Place, there's a new 15-inch combined sewer installation as well as sidewalk expansions. So this is the portion that kind of falls within you guys. There's like a very thin line between you and 12, I'm sure you know. Bear with me. For the project goals, we intend to improve the transit operations with the addition of bus paths.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tara. Can you make your slides bigger? I think you can like hit presenter mode, I believe, and might make the slides a little bigger for us over here.
Bear with me, let me zoom in a little bit. Is it more visible there?
Yeah.
Is that okay, or does it need to be bigger?
Well, if you have, do you have the option to move, make it presenter mode? I think it's in the top, right of your, I think.
A little better?
That is better.
That's a
Over
good
here?
better.
Yeah, we're good, we're good.
Sorry, hard to hear you guys. Say that again.
No, you're fine. Also, do you mind speaking up a little bit? It's just loud over here. We have the one train above us, so.
Okay, can you hear me clearly now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, does it appear better for you guys or no?
yes, it does.
Okay, because it's taking up my entire screen, so I just want to make sure you guys can see it.
Yep, we see it.
Yep. Okay, so just was saying that the project goals are to improve the transit operations with the addition of bus paths, bus bulbs, curb and median extensions, and pedestrian refuge islands. These improvements were previously implemented by DOT. This project is a continuation of the pedestrian improvements along the corridor. Here just kind of shows you guys where we intend to store for CB9. The shaded area is a tentative location for staging. The contractor will determine if he's going to utilize this space, of course, as we get closer to the start of work in Manhattan. We are currently in the Bronx in CB2, or once we get on site. Though the space selected for the storage is within CB9 limits, it will likely remain this way while we do the work in CB12, being that you guys are so close to one another. On the bottom, I did include an image of that specific space. As you can see, it's a striped out area. We're hoping to utilize this space as it would be the ideal location to minimize impact to parking over there.
And that's on Broadway between one
Yeah,
fifty third and
so
155th?
over here, that's on Broadway facing southwest. So that's between West 153rd Street and West 155th. It's right before the Hispanic Museum on the corner. Just for reference. So for the typical.
Can I ask, as I think about it, going left across 155th onto Broadway, what I remember seeing is a cemetery. Where is
Yeah.
that vis-a-vis what you're talking about?
The cemetery in relation to this?
Yes.
So if you're facing where you see the image on the bottom, I believe it's to the right there. You just can't see it in the picture.
So in other words, what you're saying is that what you want to use is to the north of the cemetery.
If it's between 153rd and 155th on Broadway, it should be adjacent to the cemetery.
Yeah, it's directly across.
No, it shouldn't be across from the cemetery. It should be north-south.
Yeah, it should be right next to it.
It would be
If you look to
east of the
right,
cemetery.
where the storage would be, that would be the cemetery. Where you see the cars parked on that side, if I recall.
So where is Broadway on your line?
So the image, I have that image of the map. You can see Broadway right there, and that's Broadway Street in the actual picture.
Is that the red?
The red line is where the striped out area is on the actual image of the street. So that's
Yes.
where they would store. Where there's that little island there for all the shrubs and the trees. That's the red line falls along that.
Yes, that's along the cemetery line, basically,
Yeah.
on Broadway.
Yeah, so it's along the median,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would any damage be done to the median?
No, absolutely not. It would not be on the median itself.
Okay, so you'll be taking how much space from what I am now believing I understand, but I may be misunderstanding. Going southbound on Broadway, you will be taking up a lane. Is that correct?
No, so as you can see, that striped out area would essentially be like a no standing area, and we would be utilizing that space to avoid impacting parking is the idea that we would want to do. So it wouldn't impact the lane, nor would it impact parking if we're able to utilize that space.
And so therefore, going southbound, there would still be 2 lanes of
Correct.
traffic.
Yep. Storage would we would try our best to make sure that we're not impacting, as you said, traffic or as much as we can parking. So that's why this space would be ideal if we're able to utilize it so that we can minimize an impact to the community.
Okay, if you think you can do that, I will be happy.
Okay.
I just have my question about that. So
Okay.
in any event, we need to move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's the typical maintenance and protection of traffic. We do have traffic enforcement agents approved for this project. It's not to say that we would be using them necessarily for this scope of work, but we do have the option should we need it. I can try to zoom in. I see that you're squinting. I don't know if, ooh, sorry, too close. Bear with me. I don't know if this helps at all. Of course, the contractor would provide flaggers and key points. This is just an example of how a work operation could look. You can see the orange shaded area would be an example of a work area. Those little orange dots are what would be barrows, and then the gray shaded area would be an example of a sidewalk. And they would just essentially block out the work area for any kind of oncoming traffic, or utilize barrows if it's a two-way, so that way traffic can flow freely on both directions. I'm gonna zoom back out just a little bit. So for community impacts during construction, you guys may see roadway lane closures as necessary, temporary loss of parking at certain work zones, temporary relocation of bus stops. Generally, in my experience, what sometimes happens is we will kind of cover a bus stop and move it to the next stop. depending on the work operation and once getting the okay, of course, from the MCA. Scheduled water main service shutdowns. So for your particular area, I don't recall any kind of water main installation, but I do believe there might be some hydrants which may call for a shutdown. And we do have weekend hours for construction if necessary. And I, of course, will work with any street vendors or dining out as needed, if that does end up being the case. Can you guys still see it pretty clearly, or do you need me to zoom in at all?
Yeah, zoom in a bit, please.
Zoom in, okay. Does that help at all? I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, so the contractor will work within DEP noise code regulations, keep storage site areas clean and safe, of course, cover trucks delivering fill and material, provide professional rodent control inspectors to monitor and maintain any rodent control stations, garbage pickups. I will of course coordinate with any of the garbage pickups, and we will try our best to avoid any impacts to the pickups of garbage. For traffic patterns, the contractor will have signage and personnel to ensure a safe work site for pedestrians and vehicles, maintain pedestrian access to sidewalks, crosswalks, and buildings, maintain emergency throughway traffic, one way or in both directions at all times, plate and open roadway for traffic when site is unattended. Parking and driveway access may be restricted when necessary. Of course, I will coordinate on a case-by-case basis. Signs will be posted in advance for the work for any towing areas by myself as well as the contractor, and full roadway closures when necessary. For the community outreach, this is just my information. As I mentioned, my name is Tara Figueroa. This is the email. However, I am currently transferring over to a new email as I was having some issues with my previous email. So I've reached out to you guys on that one. I will send you an updated presentation with that piece so you can forward that email. This is my number as well as the field office location. And then the project lead for the Manhattan portion, which is Kristen, and that's her information. These are just examples of some of the advisories you guys can expect from me. I've sent out a project information card, which I do have a virtual copy of. I can send to you guys. These are what an advisory would look like as far as any kind of no parking or a water service interruption. I will be sending out weekly bulletins on Fridays. And then this is a project update it's a quarterly project update that I will be sending out to you guys to kind of keep you informed of what is taking place. And so for the project schedule, the construction start was early 2026. For the Manhattan portion, we have it early, as of right now, it's tentative early summer 2026. And our anticipated completion is summer, fall of 2028. And that is it.
Thanks, Sarah. I have a couple questions off the bat.
Okay.
This is pretty expensive. So this is gonna last for 2 years, you said, right? So
I'm sorry, say that again?
You said this project will last 2 years. So
It's a
I'm
3-year
happy-
project.
I think-
It's supposed to be like a
Thank you for.
Say that again?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of your contact information, because we're certainly gonna need all those updates, like you said, the quarterly, the weekly, especially when you're talking about like water service shutdowns and street closures and moving bus stops. So appreciate that. Do you also attend borough service cabinet meetings periodically with the districts as well?
I'm so sorry, it sounds so, do I also send what?
Attend borough service cabinet
Yep.
meetings with the.
Yeah, so as long as you guys
great.
invite me, I will absolutely be there.
Okay, great. And I'm sorry, but do you mind backing up a little bit? I'm actually not sure exactly what y'all are doing on this project. Like why are y'all?
Okay,
like, what is
now
this?
go to this slide, which kind of breaks it down. It's still sharing on my end, right?
Yeah.
So right here, I just kind of marked out, there's gonna be some expansion of the sidewalks. We'll be doing some traffic and street light relocations. There's also a combined sewer that's being installed. You guys have a very small portion of the work that falls within your actual CB.
Okay, and okay. So it's just like generalized, like improvements to this.
Yeah, to
Right.
the sidewalks and such, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the sewer, that's on Nicholas Place.
Okay, great. Have you been in contact with the Hispanic Society and Trinity Church as well regarding this project?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Can I throw in another group? Have you spoken with the Broadway Malls Association?
No.
Okay, so Broadway Malls has responsibility for the median between 153rd and 155th.
Okay.
So they're gonna be incredibly interested in making sure that no debris or material is stored on the median.
Yeah, we wouldn't be storing anything on the median itself, but I can definitely reach out to them to make sure that I give them the information necessary for the project.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we can give you the contact information.
Yes,
if you
that
need
would be great.
Other questions from the committee?
No, I just want to stress the information really needs to make it to our district office in a timely manner so they can distribute it, to all of the kind of stakeholders and members of the community. Are you going to be posting anything on the Link NYC kiosks in that area?
So with, just real quick, with regards to any information, so if there's any work that's being done, I would give out a 72-hour advance notice. I would be the one handing it out myself, so they will absolutely have ample time to know of any work operations. And then the second comment that you made, I'm so sorry, you sound so far away. You said on the kiosk?
The Link kiosk, yeah, the Link NYC kiosk. Can you post anything on there, just letting people know that work is being done?
So I haven't prior, I generally give out a hard copy and then send things via email. I've collected already a few emails for some of the people in the area as far as the businesses and such. And generally we have a NNN list, which is our notification, the way we distribute any of our notifications. Would you guys like me to, I mean, if I get the okay from my end, I can absolutely do that if that's something you guys would like.
Yeah, so the reason I'm asking is that
Mhm.
we have, we're trying to cover a lot of different communication mediums, right?
Okay.
So, we cover it on email, you're gonna be posting signage. So if we can leverage any existing city infrastructure to get the word out, then we'll get less complaints, right?
Okay.
Because all the complaints come to the board office. So we're trying to minimize that as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. If I get the okay, I can absolutely do that.
Yes, Felipe, you have something?
Yeah, I'm gonna get closer. On the southwest corner of West 155th and St. Nicholas Avenue, is there a reason why there's no sidewalk expansion there?
This is, so I could talk to DOT and find out, or I don't know if Lyle has an answer to that. I unfortunately don't have a reason as to why.
Cause it looks like you're expanding sidewalks everywhere but there, so.
You said on
maybe
St. Nicholas Avenue, right?
Yeah, you see St. Nicholas Avenue
Yeah.
on the exit of,
Mhm.
entrance of the C train 155th stop.
I could definitely speak to them and get an answer. I don't unfortunately have an answer as to why that's
Okay,
not.
cause if you're gonna do this work on all the other corners, might as well include that one too.
Again, I could definitely speak to them first and then get back to you guys. There may be a reason as to why they're not doing that.
Yeah,
corner.
it may be, sorry, Alexander Alskin from DOT. I'm one of the project sponsors. We'll have to look into it to give you like a more accurate answer, but it could be that there was work previously done there, so there wasn't any improvements to make.
I don't think so.
Okay, so
Doesn't
then
look-
we'll have to look into it. It may also be part of another project, and so someone else is tackling improvements there.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Great. I think that's all the questions we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Tara.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right. I guess we're going with Jen Harlemore.
Yep.
All right, Jen, you're next. Anything to present?
I do.
Okay. Do you want to share it with me and?
I emailed it to
You did? Okay. Just give me a.
UN is on, she can
Oh,
try.
I see you. Yeah, you and Don.
Cause I didn't. I'm not connected to the machine.
Did you want me to share, Jen, or?
Oh, I think that might be.
Yeah, we just gotta give you one. Yeah, just give us a second, Ewan. We'll,
Okay.
we'll make you a co-host and then you can share.
By her little.
I think it's under participants. And then.
I can't see what's
right.
you would. There we are.
Isn't that even in the PE?
Actually, I'm gonna make myself co-host. All right, Ewan, you should be a co-host now.
You're muted, Ewan, just to let you know, on Ewan Maine.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, everyone. Where is the share button? Share, there we are. Do you see?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we got it.
And then view. Or click slideshow. Thanks, Ian.
Okay.
Click
And
towards the
then
right.
I should do full screen, right? Come on.
You wanna go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jennifer Beiser and I work with Harlem One Stop. And I'm excited to talk with you all about a project that we've been working on. Well, as you may know, Harlem One Stop has been engaged with commercial revitalization and supporting the business community for many years. And particularly, you know, after COVID, with recovery funds and the like. So a few years ago, we started working together and 2 years ago, we applied to New York City Small Business Services for merchant organizing for them. So there is no business-led merchant group in the neighborhood. And so we were successful during that past year. And then now, if you want to skip ahead, Ewan, to the next slide. To number 4, just to share, you know, that the Business Alliance, there is a Business Alliance now in the neighborhood. There are about 40 different businesses participating. We've done a number of different marketing promotions with the teachers. We've connected business owners to city services, which has been great. And the like, so it's been wonderful. I've been involved in that. And then next slide, thank you. Thanks. So we were able to get the Ad NYC grant, which is 3 years of investment from the city to help the community revitalize commercial areas. So we decided to, we've been focusing on Broadway, the main commercial areas, Broadway, St. Nicholas Avenue, 145th Street in Amsterdam. And we're in our first year. So this is the year where it's kind of formulaic process with SBS. The first year you do a CDNA, a commercial district needs assessment. And so starting in October, there was a team member who started doing this assessment process. So literally, you know, walking to every storefront, seeing, you know, what the needs are, seeing if there's a business there or if it's vacant. And it's gone really well. And now we're in this next phase of hearing, you know, being able to present all the data, a lot of which you know, right? So we don't have to get too deep into that. But talk about, you know, next steps and how we prioritize improving the commercial areas. One of the end results for this year is going to be a report that is a green report that is online for, you know, years to come. That's going to say, you know, West Harlem commercial district needs. Where were we at this period of time, which is roughly November 2025. And as we know, you know, East Harlem has used that document, and that's working the city to do a lot of additional fundraising and investment in the neighborhood. So we're excited that and plan to do the same thing with your support. So that's just a little information about our process. We can skip ahead to a photograph of number 6. Thanks, Ewan. Slide 6, just to enter. Yeah. Just a reminder of the area, which was a little bit of a, conversation with SBS about where exactly we're focused. And then moving forward, to jump ahead. Yeah, if you just hit enter. Sorry, I can be really fast.
Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine.
All right.
Yeah. No, you're doing great.
The CDNA report's really great, it talks about all the anchors, the community anchors, the demographics, it has that information, a real assessment and details about, and you can keep going, about the neighborhood and moving ahead.
57.2%
Oh,
of
okay.
residents are not proficient in English. Wow.
Yes, so a lot of the work, and engagement, of course, that we've done with business owners and community members and moving forward is in Spanish. If you want to, sit with this for a minute, I think it's about 23% of the neighborhoods are impoverished, don't earn more than poverty level wages. Aging community, of course, and rent burdens. Many people work in social services or in academic areas as well. And you can skip ahead, and that's just, a picture of Johnny Hartman Plaza. I don't know, it's not skipping things. So things like community assets will be in the document, and it's great for, again, for fundraising, for reaching out for business recruitment purposes, and for continuing to engage city agencies and other city players and government officials. And what is the plan? What does the future investment look like for the neighborhood when it comes to, specifically commercial areas? Going ahead to, this is the meat, number 11. Okay, so all of this data will be published. The draft report will be available to all the community board members on our website. But just, by way of introduction about what's new in the neighborhood, there are 442 active businesses, majority are on Broadway. There's another 80, I think, or maybe 79 vacant spaces. And one thing that that's great is we have these smaller spaces, like it's mixed use buildings with 1,000 square feet, which is really great for locally owned or smaller businesses. Starting out restaurants, we're doing well. There are clusters of certain kinds of businesses, cell phones, for whatever reason, we could go on about that. Most of the grocery shopping is on Broadway, although there's a new store on St. Nicholas. And the mix of businesses, thanks, Ewan, is, nothing, it is surprising, okay, yeah, so, many of the businesses have been, in the area for for a long time, and even the medical services and professional services tend to be, single owner owned, we're not talking about chains, in Hamilton Heights, although there are some new ones coming. Mention, thank you, Ewan. Vacancies. I don't know if you've noticed, there is a big uptick in vacancies in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We definitely are outpacing the city. Amsterdam Avenue is particularly hard hit at 26%. On the flip side, there are 35 spaces potentially available for new businesses to move into. And so one of the key parts about commercial revitalization efforts and initiatives we're going to do is how do we make sure that the area is attractive to new businesses, and also, of course, for the existing businesses, which is the focus and the effort, and the perspective and goal of the work is to see what can happen next, on behalf and for the benefit of neighbors who live here and the business owners who are here. Moving forward, so some of the work, literally, as I mentioned, going and seeing, okay, this storefront what do we rate it? Does it need a new awning? Does it need, does it have security gates? Like what's going on with each of these businesses? Because there are some things that we could do hopefully to help the business owners and to improve their visibility for shoppers moving forward. Skip ahead. You can skip ahead, just to give you an idea of how we rated, because, you know, we have stats. There's a poor, there's very good, and an excellent, and even an excellent is going to have some challenges, like, you know, there's one ice cream store, Aberrilli's, you know, it's absolutely adorable. We always take pictures of it for, you know, for the website, but it's like, you know, I just haven't had the money to install a proper sign.
Yeah.
Or a lighted sign at night. So there's always areas of improvement. But when we look, you know, there are around 115 businesses. They're in that like good category where a little bit of investment may really go a long way for not just their business, but for shopping experience or for the blog. So yeah. Broadway has the largest number of poor conditions. Yes.
Sorry,
Please.
just bringing this so we can get it to a close.
Yeah.
So this is uniform services and transportation.
Mhm.
What is the ask for?
Well, I will tell you, so here's one, you know, and I looked at the community board, like requests, the budget requests and things, and I saw that there were some things that that are always kicked back, right? So a couple of things. One is, the city is regulating, the gates, you know, the solid gates that, now businesses are gonna be charged, if they don't have a see-through gate. So these are things definitely related to safety. You know, having the light come through your store at night makes a big difference. We have data that, because we've done a consumer survey. How do people feel at night shopping on Florida? Well, it drops way off.
Oh,
you know, and so just right there alone, you know, the city's requiring this, you know, has this regulation that you can't have solid gates anymore, but how are we gonna support those businesses and lighting up, the district, you know, particularly Amsterdam Avenue. And of course scaffolding. I don't know how much you're involved in scaffolding conversations.
Yeah.
That is, a big drain on businesses, and there are things that we could do there. So yeah, I could go on and on. If I could take 2
Bike
minutes.
racks of, since the question was asked by Department of Transportation as well. Bike racks,
Oh.
So is
Oh, bike
economic,
racks.
is economic development also going to look at this?
Absolutely. Yeah, making the rounds and
Oh.
much appreciating this. I think, you can land where you think, but, just to know, and we did a merchant survey, you know, over more than 150 store owners, everyone's saying low foot traffic. This is kind of citywide, but you know, it's really tough, and that's why we saw the vacancies kind of spike over the winter. And you know, again, you know, that foot traffic is about safety. It's about the sidewalk. It's it really and it's everything for those businesses. So things that we can do, if we click forward, as a group, you know, we're lucky we have this merchants association, and the businesses are talking about how we can work together, things that they're excited about. And it kind of came through in the findings of the merchant survey, where it's like, okay, what are the resources that you need to grow? What do you think can help your business? And marketing came up as number one, followed by financing. But the business owners really see that. And in addition, if you want to click ahead, UN, the neighbors that we surveyed. So we also surveyed a couple hundred neighbors, and we'll continue to do that and look forward to your support with that effort. And there weren't tons of huge surprises, but pause right there. UN, you know, one desired business, which also merchant said, is more restaurants and bars. You'd be surprised. I'm sure you hear, many people come to your
Yeah.
committee are saying, no, not another bar. But the survey was interesting, and the business owners themselves said, oh, more restaurants and bars, as did the neighbors.
More bars.
More bars and better groceries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the gyms too, but like there's not enough gyms in
Hey.
here.
Yeah.
New almost, oh wait, new almost bagel.
Galleries
Yeah.
and music?
New absolute bagels on the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
I would like them to open a Slimming Breath location.
Yes.
I do think we need to wrap up.
Yep. So let me just go, so in terms of improvements, community events was
Mhm.
great, everybody loves them, and we're really fortunate to have so many great organizations doing these kind of community activations. What our organization is gonna be able to do with this funding and with some consistency over the next couple of years is really connect community events with the business community. So we have lots of fun plans and look forward to getting your feedback on those, maybe through further conversations, through emails. And I know you have to wrap. One thing though, to keep in mind is that neighborhood development and construction that happens is now kind of moving into that as a priority focus, is to see like what's gonna go on, what's gonna happen at 145th Street, which obviously is an area that could change the neighborhood's trajectory for a long time.
Yeah.
We'll be doing that, looking at business recruitment. One issue that I would hope might be of interest to the group, I think is related to churches and the 200-yard rule or 200 feet rule for churches, that you can't open a bar
Yeah.
within 200 feet of the church or school. So there is a proposal on the books at the state assembly or the state senate to loosen that restriction. That could mean a big difference for Amsterdam Avenue and even Broadway. So I will send information about that Senate bill.
Thank you.
Which ends. Let me see how to wrap. Thank you for your time and support. My kind of last slide, is the hope that some of you might want to either, couple things. We would love to organize a, community-led business recruitment committee. The other, a welcome committee, you do that, and I know you're tapped out, right, the committee, but a welcome committee for new businesses as they're moving in would be great. And there is an opportunity, if you have any property owners or nonprofit organizations that you're connected with. We will be having a meeting on May 5th at Boys Girls Club to talk about nonprofits in the neighborhood and connecting to this project and as property owners as well, since a lot of nonprofits own property.
This is great, awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
We'll open up for questions, but before we do, I just have to say thank you to y'all, to the Alliance for putting all this together. This is excellent information, and this is great. This is how, this is how like many successes have happened in like Long Island City, it's like things like this, like, so bringing this to businesses, recruiting them, this is exactly how it happens, so this is awesome, and Amsterdam Avenue does need help. And scaffolding is something that is under this committee's purview, so this is great, thank you. Any questions from the committee? Online or in person?
Yeah, I had a quick one, chairs. I just asked the question, good evening all. The question I had asked is whether or not this presentation was given to our Economic and Development Committee?
Yeah, Jen is gonna be going, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's scheduled on going.
Oh, very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, the information was good, and I wanted to make sure they present there because they could be instrumental in trying to move things along as well.
We also
you.
plan to present to the land use committee as well.
Oh,
The
great.
what?
That's right.
This is great.
Land use.
Those
Oh,
are
land
the
use.
ones.
I'll
Okay.
be following up. I'd love to get
Thank you,
involved.
Ewan.
Yeah.
Thank
Also, I
you.
don't think you sent me their presentation. I think maybe, I don't, yeah, it'd be great. I can share with the committee. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Awesome. It's great.
Okay,
A lot of work.
I know, April, I know you gotta go. Do
Yeah.
you wanna give your update on the KIP,
Oh, yes.
kind of?
Yeah, sorry, sir. Thank you for your patience to all the agencies. Real quick, because I do have to leave soon. So this past Friday, I met with the KIPP school for their, about their proposal for an open street, on West 133rd Street, right out here, between Broadway and 12th. So, we got MTA out there, we had DOT, we had NYPD, all the school principals. MTA was like, it's a non-starter. They were like, closing the street from 7 a.m. to 8, and then again from 3 to 4 would deeply impact the bus depot with them coming out and in, and with their employees coming in and out. But the solution we reached was that instead of a full closure, we're going to look at only allowing one-way traffic down the street from 7 to 8 and 3 to 4. So we put that proposal in, we submitted that letter of recommendation, I sent that over to y'all, letter of support. So we'll see what DOT says. In the meantime, we're hoping that in May and June, we can have a, like 1 week of a pilot program to close it, just to kind of get them ready for the fall if it does get passed. They're also, the Open Street is what application was also for technically a pilot program because they want to see how it works out. There are ongoing issues. I don't know if y'all been out here 3 to 4, 7 to 8, but it was crazy. Like it was insane. Also, one of the biggest issues is that they have all those trash bins out there, which they cannot move onto the avenues, which cause a lot of issues too. So we'll see, hopefully DOT will approve that application because something does need to be done. And then on another note, I didn't have time to prepare a resolution for this meeting. I'll do it for next month's meeting. But I'm gonna submit a resolution asking Columbia University to potentially open up Fairways parking lot for teacher parking. Cause that's one of the other issues is why traffic is so bad, is because the teachers park along the street. So if they would be so generous, Columbia would be generous sometimes, maybe. We'll see. So we'll see if we can convince them to open up parking. But that is the update on that. Any questions?
No, thank you for the update.
All right, cool.
You're patient.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
okay, so let's go to agency updates. Is anyone from the 2-6 on? NYPD 26 precinct? Anyone? Okay, we'll move on, 30th precinct? Anyone?
Good evening, everybody. Officer Stumer here.
Hello.
Hello, Officer Schumer.
Good evening, everyone.
If you guys didn't hear, Officer
Oh.
Stumer was on the local news a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
If you heard about the incident around Gracie Mansion where the incendiary devices were thrown, Officer Stumer helped apprehend one of those 2 individuals. So thank you, Officer Stumer.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today. Just to go over quickly, crime in the 30th precinct, we're seeing a continuous decline with almost 20 less reported incidents, which is a huge 30% decrease versus the same time last year. The areas that we're still seeing a spike in incidents, and it's a citywide complaint, are actually rapes. For all that don't know, about a year and a half ago, the state legislature changed the reporting classifications for rape, where any act, not just penis to vagina, is considered a rape now. Basically, they wanted to strengthen sexual assault cases by having a more stricter charge. So we're still seeing some of that fall through now, where we're seeing more complaints. But for us, we look at it as a good thing for 2 reasons. One, it's all known individuals, which means there's an arrest attached with the incident. And 2, it means that people are feeling more comfortable to report those incidents. Unfortunately, there's a big still stigma when it comes to reporting rape. So, obviously we don't want any crime, but we're happy that, crime victims feel comfortable enough to come to the police and find justice against their attackers. One of the things that I tell everybody too is if they have anyone, a lot of it's family related domestic violence incidents. Every precinct, every in the city has what's called a crime victim advocate assigned to the precinct. And basically, this crime victim advocate is a civilian, it's not a cop, where victims of crimes or, possible victims of crimes, people that maybe have not reported yet, can come and speak with this individual, and this individual can give them a step-by-step process of how it goes, what, making a police report, meeting with detectives, going to courts, all entail. And, we see a lot of success where we partner victims with this crime victim advocate, and we see a lot of cases get prosecuted to the full extent where, a lot of times in domestic violence cases, they might call 911, we might make an arrest, but when it comes time for court, they get a little intimidated, a little scared, and they don't always, prosecute the case. And unfortunately, the case has to be dismissed and no justice is served. So we're always happy to help out. I'll get them on for a meeting to come and speak with you guys. They're an awesome organization that really helps out victims. Another quick stuff. Thank you for the invite to the walkthrough on 133. I think we can all agree through all the agencies that something needs to be done there. We can't just keep letting it go how it is now and just kind of hope that nothing will happen, because that's not a good business plan. And then otherwise, the last thing I have is on the 26th of April, 25th of April, we'll be hosting a meet and greet at the precinct, well, not the precinct, at a school, 503 West 102nd Street, where it's like a little resource fair for all the units in the precinct, our traffic safety, our crime prevention officer, our domestic violence officers, our crime victim advocate. People can come, meet them, ask them questions. I'll have a brief little presentation. I will send over the flyer to the board and make sure it gets blasted out. And otherwise, does anyone have any questions?
Officer Stumer, can you talk about the recent bust you guys made? I think it was last week.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder. So thank you for the boards bringing it to our attention and keeping it on our radar. We had gotten a lot of complaints about weed vans along Broadway, with in particular 136th Street and Broadway, where people were selling weed out of white vans. We sent some of our strongest officers over there, who actually recognized the individuals from the van as two people with active warrants. So they quickly apprehended them and the van had an absurd, that's the only way to describe it, an absurd amount of weed and narcotics, illegal cannabis, illegal mushrooms, any checkbox for narcotics was in that van. So we're very, very happy to have that off the streets, and still off the streets. It's not back right now. It's still in front of the precinct, where hopefully it will be brought to the pound and, never to return to West 136th Street and Broadway.
Yeah,
we
and one of
know
the disturbing things that they found was that a lot of the weed related products were marketing to kids.
Oh,
a lot.
looked
So
like
the
candy.
packaging was like Twix and other like
Oh my
very
God.
kid, which I know New York State has made it very clear when it comes to the legal cannabis that it can't have any of this very like kid oriented marketing. So to see that kind of scares us a little, because we don't want kids just walking on the street and be like, oh, it's a box of Fruit Loops or something like that, and or not realizing what they're actually taking. So we were very happy to take that off the streets. I'll send. I know I shared it with you guys. I'll share it with the rest of the board. The photos from that incident. It was a really good, really good apprehension from our officers. And we know there's another one at 145th Street in Convent that we're actively investigating right now.
Thank you for that. Monique, I hear him.
Yeah, quick question on this. What was the significance of the CCTV cameras? That's what I thought was bizarre about both of the vans. They have CCTV.
We actually believe they're not really worried about us when it comes to the CCTV. They're really worried about rival, crews and rival gangs trying to steal the vans, and because what they'll do is they'll sit in the van with black window tints all around it, or not in the driver's seat, but they can still look outside through those cameras.
Oh, wow.
Monique, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Yes, Officer Stumer, thank you so much for your work with that first bust. Yeah, what was retrieved was incredible. And also thank you for keeping your eyes open in regards to other individuals engaging in, illicit activity. We greatly appreciate it. And as a board, we'll continue to keep you informed when we see stuff.
Ewan?
Yeah.
Ewan?
Yes, thank you. Um, I was wondering, what was happening. I know the people who live on St. Nicholas and 147, 148, that they're really upset about the possibility of a cannabis store being open on a corner that has been rife with problems for several years. And I don't know if there's anything this board can do in terms of
Wait, Ewan, are you're talking about a cannabis shop?
yeah, on St. Nicholas
Yeah,
and
that's not
one.
our, oh, sorry, Ewan, that's not our committee. We don't oversee, like, we have a cannabis subcommittee and also probably economic development would look into that.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
only addressing that because Officer Stumer was, was responding to
Yeah.
issues within the community. But I do
Yeah.
know that there is a cannabis committee.
Yes.
But
Okay.
I was
Do you want me
I'm
to speak to
sharing-
that?
I'm
Oh,
sharing.
no, sorry, Monique.
Okay,
but
that's
if y'all
fine.
wanna talk about it, yeah, in a separate committee, that's fine.
That's
This is
fine.
how much
Alright,
they had
alright.
taken from that van. This is, if you think about it, you see the length of these tables? It's like 4 of these tables.
Damn.
That they recovered all of that conference.
Really good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just impressive amount to fit around.
All right, well, thank you so
Um,
much, Officer Stumer,
Yeah.
and thank you for coming to the walkthrough last Friday, appreciate it.
April, one last question. I'm sorry. The subway at St. Nicholas, that entrance,
Uh-huh.
what is happening there, please? Is it an active subway entrance? Because there are a lot of homeless, who hang out in that subway station at night. They removed the
We can get clarification on that. Looks like Alberto from MTA left the call, but we can get some answers on that.
yeah, that would be good. That would be great.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Is that transit, Officer
Transit,
Stumer?
Yeah, I'm familiar. So that area is a little weird. There's a couple entrances at 147. I know there's a service entrance right over there too. I don't
Not
know
the
if
one
that's.
by the plaza, the one on the west side.
I believe it's active, but I know they have been doing construction over there. So I think they might have been doing like sporadic closures. But we can definitely reach out to our counterparts at Transit District 3 and make sure that they keep an eye out for any type of homeless conditions over there.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, all right, next is PSA 6, Detective Wilborn and Officer Etienne.
Greetings, everyone. Detective Wilborn, PSA 6 Community Affairs. I have the numbers for the 28-day for you guys. That's going to be March 2nd to March 29th. We took one robbery in Grant houses. I did do an outreach this past week in regard to the e-bikes. I went and visited all the businesses in the area to let them know to be on the lookout, just to make sure that the bikes are secured. In this incident, we had a delivery person park the bike in front of one of our buildings. And basically, by the time he came back downstairs to get the bike, he saw someone riding on the bike. He was attacked and a firearm was taken out on the young man. We took one assault in Manhattanville involving weed, where someone invited someone over to their apartment and pretty much got attacked by the person that they knew. They were punched and a glass bottle was used to hit the person. We took 2 burglaries in Manhattanville. There's been like a spike in burglaries in the developments because they're undergoing major construction over there. So a lot of times their tools are missing. We did do outreach with that as well, just to make sure that they're securing the property so that way, we don't take so many burglaries and grand larcenies. And we took 1 grand larceny in Manhattanville as well. Tools missing from an elevator platform. So we did do outreach at the management office, just recommending that they secure these tools properly and the locations that they're being stored in. Other than that, there hasn't been any major crimes happening in and around that area. We're looking forward to May coming up because we do a big Mother's Day event. So we invite everyone to participate. It will be at the State Building. I'm sorry, excuse me, Polo Grounds. If anyone is interested, are there any questions?
I think we're good. Thank you, Detective.
You're
welcome.
Okay, all right, DOT is next, Lyle.
Evening, everyone. Again, Lyle Black from DOT. Pretty much just one quick update. And it's in regards to Milligan resurfacing. Currently for this week, we're in CB12 in Northern Manhattan and in Midtown and other parts of the Upper West Side, outside of Northern Manhattan. The schedule of locations for the borough should be available by tomorrow. So for the locations that will be affected, uptown Northern Manhattan and the areas I cover, I'll be able to send that information to you sometime tomorrow, so everyone in town can at least prepare for where we'll be. I think we'll still be in CB12 for the most part next week, but again, I'll just send over the list so that everyone is we're ahead of time. I also wanted to mention very quickly, as far as the walkthrough last week, April pretty much took most of the words out of my mouth as far as the things that we had seen on site, but absolutely, we had some conversations on site with all the stakeholders, MCA principals, reps in the community board, etc., regarding the application. MCA and DOT shared the concerns as far as the current conditions on site. We saw some conditions, as April mentioned, that were quite concerning, at least to me, as far as how the street and the curb are being utilized, which greatly contributes to the current issues there. For example, as was mentioned, teachers are basically parking in the no standing section that was meant for quick loading and offloading of students. The no standing area. What that does is pretty much push all the through traffic from against the curb, including school buses, into both lanes, both going westbound and eastbound on 133rd, which is very concerning for us. I know that a potential pilot program was discussed. I reached out to my colleagues first for an update to see if that would be feasible towards the end of the year. I haven't gotten an update in time for this meeting, but when I do hear back, I'll let you know. As far as I do know, the application overall is still being reviewed for the school. So my colleagues should have an update, hopefully the next couple of weeks, as far as what DOT is determined for the next school year. And like I said, I'll get back to everyone as far as the pilot program, if it's doable or feasible, in DOT's eyes for the end of the current semester, sometime in May or June. I think that should be it for me, unless there are any questions from the committee.
Ted,
How are you, Ted?
I am fine, thank you. And yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's good. We had earlier today a program with regard to lowering the speed limit to 20 miles an hour within our area. I'm interested in knowing what we can do to ensure enforcement of that.
That's a good question. As you know, DOT is not an enforcement agency. We don't ticket or tow. All we can pretty much do is put the signs up and hope that they're enforced. I think it was mentioned earlier during the presentation, that there was a resolution that the committee passed for some lower speed corridors within the district. That resolution is currently being reviewed by my colleagues in our Public Realm Division. So we should hopefully have an update for you sometime in the future as far as the Morningside Drive corridor and Convent Avenue. I would say if there are specific locations where you feel that DOT needs to address whether it's anything infrastructure wise, signage, any requests for particular slow zones, you can send them to me or to the agency, and we can, on a case by case basis, study those and get back to the requester with our analysis and any information in regards to the results of those findings. But when it comes to enforcement, like I said, all we can do, as you know, is pretty much put up the signs and hope for the best. And it would be nice, ideally, if more tickets were issued, at least for our sake. But that's essentially an issue between the local precincts and what's going on the street. But if there are any signs that are missing, we can replace those. And that was actually one of the concerns that we had seen last week at the walkthrough. There might be another sign or two missing on the north side of 133rd, which I'm going to take a look into as well. But like I said, from a DOT perspective, we'll do what we can in order to promote traffic and pedestrian safety. And, hopefully we can get some support from others in the neighborhood as well as, local precincts when we're doing that.
Well, I thank you. I am having lived through a series of different things where we have been told, oh, we cannot change the program for the area on Riverside Drive because the traffic goes faster than we want. Well, we need to have that be enforced, because otherwise, if we lower the speed limit, it's not going to be enforced. And what we're going to be doing is just spinning our wheels.
Yeah, if you want DOT to take a closer look at Riverside, at least in the Grand Stream area, we can do that as well. To see if there's any potential traffic calming measures that we can install around there. If the board wants to pass a resolution on that, that's something we can study, take a closer look at if you'd like.
Well,
so just
I would say to you that south of the viaduct, something where we need to be looking at.
Okay.
On the viaduct, if people go 40 miles an hour, then it's a whole matter of enforcement.
Speed bumps.
South of the area, it's much more a situation of taking care of our community.
Okay, so that would pretty much be the area I would say. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say it's probably the area, I'd say probably from 116th to 125th, right? Just making sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, we can definitely take a closer look at that area. And like I said, any suggestions that you or anybody else in the committee or the neighborhood have, we can definitely pass those along to my colleagues and do some studies if necessary. Never a problem.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Lyle. Anything else for Lyle?
Yeah, real quick question. Hey, Lyle, this is Chris. The
How are
Summer Street schedule is out. Last year, I thought it was 4 weekends in Manhattan. It looks like it's only 3 weekends this year. Am I incorrect or correct?
Yeah, we're going through the list for Car Free Earth Day and for Summer Streets now, so we should have some information finalized within the next couple of weeks. So as that comes in, I can definitely pass it along to the board. I think I sent over the Car Free Earth Day information, which should be taking place at the end of this month. I can't believe it's April already, but at the end of this month, we should be having Car Free Earth Day events in I think CB12. So Northern Manhattan should be represented at least for those events. When it comes to summer streets, I'll see if I can get some additional information once that schedule has been finalized, and I'll pass it along to the community board, and we can have conversations if need be.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, anything else, Lyle? No, all right. We'll move
Thanks,
on.
everyone.
Thank you, Lyle. Just checking FDNY. Anyone from FDNY on? Anyone from Department of Sanitation on? Anyone from MTA on? I know Alberta was on earlier, but he probably had to leave after the BX6 presentation. Okay, I'm gonna move to action items. The first one here is we have the George at 412 West 126th Street, corner of Morningside Avenue. Is anyone from the George on? I know they were invited to come present. Last month, they didn't, they asked to come this month. Anyone from the George? All right, I motion that we table this for next month. All right, so we're gonna table that. Next is the renewal liquor license applications for the following establishments. The first one is La Flor, the Broadway, that's on between 137th, 138th and Broadway. There's Louis Amsterdam, which is actually Louis on between LaSalle and what is that, Tiemann and Broadway. And then there's the Good Luck Harlem Corp, aka Ricola, which is on 145th Street, on the corner of 145th and is this Broadway?
St.
Oh, St. Nick. We should add that. All right, St. Nick. Okay, so these are three renewal applications.
Are these all 33s or
No,
one 27?
LaFleur is the 30th. Good Luck, Ricola is 30th, and Louis is in the 26. We did send notifications to the NYPD, and both precincts had no issues with it.
Okay, good. And I move unanimous consent.
Second.
Okay, unanimous consent, Kovalev, and seconded by Jordan Chair. Okay, any objections?
These are all beer, wine, and cider for the most part, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The floor, I think, they have liquor. Yeah. But the other two are just beer, wine, cider. Okay, everyone good with that? All right, that'll move forward to exec board. Next are two corporate change applications. This is the Mere Star Restaurant Corp, 3640 Broadway. It's between 150th and 151st. And then there's El Nuevo Capri Restaurant that's on the corner of 137th and Broadway. These are corporate change applications. What this means is that the principal owners are the principal owners are changing. They have more than one, but whenever there's a change, that's why it comes up. They have to register that change. So these, this is more of a paperwork thing. And any issues here?
Yeah, Sam.
Seconded.
Okay. Castillo, Scherer, any objections?
None.
Okay, all right, next, I did want to bring up, and the 2-6 wasn't on, but we did get complaints from, the board office got complaints about Patrick's on the Hill again. If you guys remember, there's been it's been a back and forth about the temporary permit, the noise complaints there. It happened again. I think it's been happening. so the tenants association that's on the building right above Patrick's on the Hill did send us a letter. I know they reached out to to City Councilman Abreu's office, to the mayor's office, and to the borough president, about the issues that they're having there. I thought I saw Edwin. Edwin, are you there?
Yes, I am here, Chair.
Would you like to say anything about this?
So, we have an attorney and we're taking our, landlord to court for breaching our warranty or habitability. But as you mentioned, indeed, we are enduring this, noise situation. Just as of last night, we were just dealing with this on a Wednesday at 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry to hear that, Edwin. I know it's
And-
I
And we
live
had
there
the,
myself. I
yeah.
know.
and we had the 2.6 that came in with their noise reader, and they
Mhm.
were able to clock in a 81 decibel with their meter.
Mhm.
We have been using the city app, and we've been
Mhm.
able to clock in 90 and 95 decibel. Just for reference, the city dictates, I think it's 42 as the cutoffs.
Yeah, I was under the impression, Edwin, that anything above 70 was considered harmful.
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, it is very harmful. The next day, people here are waking up with headaches. Folks are calling out of work. And if people want to sleep, they're going somewhere else to go to sleep. They're going to like a family member. I had to stay in a hotel myself, more than once.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, so I know we put together a letter to send to SLA, just notifying them that, we did get these complaints, and how they're ongoing. So, I know we trying to do our part to put some pressure on them as well. You and I saw that you had your hand raised. Is there something you wanted to comment?
Yes, I do, because this has been going on for a few years now, and I must say, we're working with the merchants, and from a personal perspective, I don't know, it seems every time that this complaint comes up, it's coming from one source, and I'm beginning to think that this business is being unfairly targeted. I live 1 block away, and if the tenants in that building has an issue with a tenant, then this should be taken up with the landlord. But at this point, I have never seen such targeted, actions and, against a business in all the time that I've been working with the businesses. I've been there myself. When there is a band there, they play acoustically. I mean, what is the issue with this one source of complaint? And how many?
I'll tell you, and it's not just one person, it's multiple people. We've had them here.
Within the
We let them
building.
talk. Yeah, I mean, there are multiple
Within
tenants
the
within the
building.
building
I
that
mean, I've
are
spoken to
complaining.
the owners. They've tried to get into Edwin's apartment and other apartments to look at the situation so that they could soundproof, and they're denied entry. So how can they resolve a problem, and they're trying their best to, without the cooperation of the people who are complaining against them? It is
matter is-
unfair to be
The matter's in
targeting a
housing court
business
now.
like this.
The
Yeah,
lawsuit is with
it's in housing court.
the landlord now, so.
Yes, well, that's good. At least that's a good move now.
That's a venue for it, not here.
Yeah.
But I believe it's unfair to this business you know, and I don't want to be inconsiderate, you know, of anyone not being able to sleep. But I mean, it's going to ridiculous. Someone is there clocking, you know, clocking the decibel of that. Then you don't want to sleep. You're not tired, you know. Um, but the bottom line is the business is trying to resolve the issue, but he's getting a lot of pushback from the people who live above him. All right, whoever apartment is above him refuses to cooperate.
It's not
not
just
fair.
above, it's also below. They have apartments below.
That apartment below, you know, that's not a legal apartment. It's not a legal
Again,
apartment. Those
it's a
apartments
landlord
are
issue.
either for the maintenance people or for storage. And some buildings, that's why so many garbage bins are on the street. Because when I first moved into this neighborhood, there were no garbage bins on the street except for on garbage day. They're brought out, and after they're picked up, the bins are brought back in. And land property owners here, apartment dwellers, owners have removed those garbage bins to street level and have rented out those apartments. So someone should look at the legality of that space. This is a commercial corridor. It's got businesses there. And, you know, I mean, I want to say, you know, people who live there, yes, they are entitled to a peaceful environment within a certain hour. But give the businesses a break, you know? If they're open until 12 o'clock, 11:30, and they're still going at 1, yes, call the cops on them because they're not in compliance. But to be watching someone's every move, every twist and turn, that is ridiculous. It's a commercial corridor. We need to do whatever we can to work with and support the merchants.
And we, you know, we need to wrap up here, but I do want to say, we did invite the owner of the establishment to come speak to us. We tried to mediate the situation. He heard from the tenants himself, multiple tenants, about the problems that they were having with the sound and the noise.
Yeah. Well, there's an
And-
instigator within that building. I'll put it to you.
Ewan, this is the most disgusting, racist comment that I have
It's
heard in
not
this community
racist.
before. Indeed it is. Because
I'm not
these tenants
racist. I am
do not
black.
speak
You
do not
know?
speak English.
But I'm not
And
gonna
I have
argue with you.
advocated for
I'm
each
just
one of them.
telling you the situation in that building. It's
I gotta mute you guys. We gotta move on. I'm sorry, but we got an agenda to follow. Okay. I think we wanted to talk about the safety survey, right?
Yes, that was under old business.
Okay.
Are we done with everything else? Cause this is. just-
We're done with the liquor license stuff, yes.
Great, okay, so. Gretchen and I took the safety survey to exec. They liked it, they gave us some ideas. The English version, at least on my end, is finalized. I know Felipe, you looked over it, right?
Yes.
I'm just. Before I start the Spanish version, and by that I mean put everything into Google, translate it and send it to Solomon. This is kind of your speak now or forever hold your peace moment. Hopefully next month, we will have both the English language version and the Spanish language version ready to go live at the same time. And then we'll have to just get a bunch of QR codes printed and tape them everywhere.
Yeah.
Gretchen has good posters.
I do think we should distribute it to the committee so that we can just get some data so that when we present to exec board, there's some data in there to look at. So once you have the survey finalized, right?
The survey is finalized, I just need everybody's approval to start, that the English survey is final, and then I'm gonna start working on the Spanish language survey. And then I'll send that to you, and then once you've looked it over and fixed whatever nonsense Google Translate spits out.
Sure.
We can kind of go over it, say, yay, we're gonna do this, and then when we present, put it out with Gretchen's advertising tools. And then when we present it to the full board, we will have data.
Great.
Thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much.
Cool. Any questions for Jordan? Anyone? Okay. All right, was there anything else, old business?
I guess we received some material about the opening at City College.
Oh, right, thank you, Ted. Yeah, so Juan sent an email around about the gates at City College. I guess they've kind of made this almost like corral, it feels like, where it starts at
Can I airdrop to you? I have a picture.
sure, oh yeah, you could do that.
Some proto-fascist nonsense.
I put in a 311 request
Nice.
as it's blocking the sidewalk.
Okay.
And they said that there wasn't any action to take.
You ready?
Yeah, go ahead, try. Are you on the CB9 web?
No, I'm airdropping.
Oh.
Quick share.
Okay.
Oh.
You know what it is?
It's on your phone.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Are they allowed to just put stuff up, like
No,
installations like that on
But
sidewalks?
so both my devices will block it because it's managed by the university the security. If anyone else has it, Felipe, do you have the picture?
I have, but.
Maybe you could share it.
Jump on it.
Yes. Oh, I think I might have it. Hold on. Oh,
Yeah, because it was sent out via email.
yeah.
Oh, you did?
I got your email.
But not the, did you get the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sometimes you can share.
Let me see if I have. Just give me a second. Sorry, guys. It's not very big.
Yeah, Juan sent photos on 2 days ago.
And I don't know if you guys can see that very well.
Yeah.
I tried to make it a little bigger. That's as big as it'll go.
Okay.
But you could see that there are these gates here. You have to pass through this passageway just to walk along the sidewalk.
Is that temporary or has there?
No, it's been there for months.
Yeah.
It's temporary in its installation. It's not permanent.
Sure,
But it's
yeah,
been there for.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there for a couple
This
months.
is a replacement of what was there before, and it extends from the protest. And it's also on the 130,
Yeah, it's further
It's
south.
side. but you can walk in the street and walk around it. Oh, that's great. That's the other side. That's one.
Yeah, this.
40th.
Yeah, so I think it goes from 140th to 136.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it spans 4 blocks. Thank you for putting in the 311 request, Felipe. I know we asked Utah to find out some more information about this. I think we've asked Lyle previously about this.
Yeah, we did.
I know Victor was gonna bring it up with, he meets, I think, quarterly with City College. So he was gonna mention it as well, but just wanted to make sure that we keep monitoring it.
We're not even privatizing the area, they're just blocking sidewalk.
We may wanna consider a resolution, I don't know what the resolution would be, but more of
This might be a call for public safety to come in and talk about why they feel it's needed or when they believe it can be removed.
yeah.
What is the justification for this?
And I think it's not ADA compliant, because it has to be 4 feet wide.
That is not 4 feet wide.
2 feet.
What's the?
Oh, 3 feet?
Oh.
Okay, 3 feet wide, but that's not, I just sent another photo of the one.
To the email?
To that chain, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
My accessibility device is just chunky.
They need a form also from DOT to do something like that.
That, yeah,
Revocation or something.
that one's on the south side.
Yeah.
Do they have?
And I think when Lyle tried to look in the system to see if they had any permits or were granted anything for this. I don't think there was anything he found.
Looks like construction equipment.
Well, at least that dumpster kind of looks like that. But yeah, so this is, how many months would you say this has been up now?
The first version went up probably a year and a half ago.
Oh.
And this is a recent iteration of probably sometime over the summer of 25. For quite some time, there was a security guard posted,
What were you doing?
checking IDs when they had a
So only if you had city college
could you
business,
walk through.
could you walk through?
So that, but this is actually a public street. This is not.
City College actually closes that street from 8 o'clock until
6 p.m.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't close, it closes it to vehicular traffic, you can walk.
Yes.
Do they own that street? Is it like 116 on Columbia or? Okay, so they're just trying to do Columbia, okay. But you said you can walk around the fence and they can't stop you if you walk around the fence? Amazing.
But it's, it's also like an inconvenience, right? It's,
Well, yeah, it's incredibly inconvenient.
and it's not ADA compliant, and it's,
An eyesore.
All right, well,
You can walk through, right? I know
you can walk through, but you have to go through the, you can either go walk on the street, the actual street,
Yeah,
or
that's
you have to go through
inconvenient,
this
yeah.
passageway.
Right, right. But they
This extends
do
from the
emergency
Gaza
vehicles and deliveries. They'll move the barrier and allow people to drive through.
The barrier is
Correct.
only from 8 to 6 p.m. and anyone can walk on the sidewalk at any time. The question here is whether this is permitted as they just started using it because of the emergency from the protests, which happens in the city all throughout, right? But when these situations they subside and they dissipate and disappear, you don't see the city barricaded all over the place. Why they're doing it in this community? That's a very good question. It's also in the Grove Engineering front, they have the same type of barricade.
On the sidewalk, Edwin, or in the street?
Right on the sidewalk. You cannot,
it's on the sidewalk.
it's basically covering the space there.
I hadn't noticed that. I'm gonna look. Let's see.
So it is a city
Yeah.
college, right? Just like, any other school that is in the city that has, a public space in between, but this allows them to feel more, I guess, privatized like Columbia did. The question is, at what cost do we allow this sort of militarization that looks like in our community? We understood what happened with the protests, and that was reasonable. Now these protests have not taken place in many, many, many months. Then, do we still allow this to take place?
But just like at Columbia, protests are an excuse for a land grab.
Indeed, yes, very much
Like
so.
the Columbia 116th Street is like, people are calling it fascism. It's just capitalism. It's just a land grab. This is clearly also just a land grab. It's a public street that they've decided they want to privatize and they're taking it. Are they paying for it? No, they're just taking it. I feel like that's a problem.
Yeah, so.
I mean, and we see these protests in the city, right? In 14th Street and many places, the police put the barricade, but as soon as they able to take care of it, these things they go out within a week.
But it's open on the weekend.
But these barriers,
my
these barriers
neighbors
are still
park.
up.
Those
My
barriers are
neighbors-
permanent.
My neighbors park on the campus.
So there's
But
two things, the parking and the sidewalk. The parking is closed throughout
we're just talking
history
about
from
the
8 to
sidewalk,
6.
Edwin, we're just talking about the sidewalk.
So maybe the request is to ask City College to disassemble or move it to the side. Cause it's temporary,
Right.
yeah, and if they need to deploy it once again, it'll be right there.
Yeah, have it handy,
Yeah.
but don't put it up.
Just don't put it up.
Okay. I will try to get something together and distribute, by before next committee meeting.
And Solomon, can I ask the scope of whatever you write is just for the sidewalk?
Yeah, just for the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anything else? Old business? Anything new business? Okay, I think we're done then. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
So
Okay.
moved, Ted.
Thank you. All right, we are adjourning at 8:20 PM.
Look at us, early.
Thank you all. And hope everyone has a good night and get home safe.
Can I get a copy of that presentation? Yeah. First one, yeah, I'm in the middle of it. Yeah.
Good night, Ted.
Good night.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I should know more.